Welcome once again this morning. I'm going to jump right into our agenda for the Mission Partners Grant Orientation webinar. It's pretty straightforward and simple. We will introduce the grant program, talk about the funding criteria, parameters, and funding restrictions, the due date, and show you how to apply and how to find some resources that we hope will be helpful for you. First, though, I've asked Sherry to provide an introduction to the congregation. The Sisters of St. Dominic of Racine perhaps need no introduction to this group, but I did want to take a moment and talk about their mission and what is driving this grant program. So thank you, Sherry, for being here, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you to talk about the congregation.
Sure. Thank you. And I agree with you. These folks know the sisters really well. As of today, they're 164 years old. And I think you know that they value the work that you're doing. Their average age today is 86.7, almost median age 87, 62 sisters. And because of that, we're just delighted to be partnering this year with the Incarnate Word Foundation to help do a grant program. So in addition to this one, there'll be two other programs they'll be supporting us with through the process this year. So appreciate that. So you know that the sisters, they have never been about amassing wealth, and that they review what they need very carefully to care for the members, which is their first canonical priority. And then what's left, they have a mechanism to do an allocation every year for granting. And of course, the mission partners are included this year. I'm happy to turn it back to you, Melody, unless there's more you want me to share about the Racine Dominicans, or anybody have any questions for me?
That's great. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Okay.
And you probably all know where to find more information on their mission and their history, but I put those in the slide for you as well. So we at the Incarnate Word Foundation are so excited to be partnering to administer this grant with the Racine Dominicans. And Kate will do an introduction to the foundation and kind of talk more about our partnership in this program.
Thanks so much, Melody. Yeah, well, you all know the Racine Dominicans very well. You probably do not know the Incarnate Word Foundation. You may have never heard of it. But we are located the foundation itself is located in St. Louis, Missouri, although we are sponsored by the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word in San Antonio. We are one of their 10 ministries in the U.S., and the sisters also have ministries throughout Mexico, Peru, Colombia. I'm probably leaving another one out. Our foundation was created after the sale of a hospital that the sisters owned in St. Louis in 1997. So we have been doing this work for close to 30 years. So we have lots of experience with grant administration. And through that, we realized that many congregations are going to be making some tough decisions in the near future. And many of them want to do grant making, but don't know how. So we have started assisting with that. And we are really excited, as I said, at the start of this, to be working with the Racine Dominicans. I was lucky enough to get to travel up and visit with Sister Marianne and Sherry and see their beautiful home along the lake and hear about all the wonderful work that you all are doing. So we are excited to receive your applications and to learn even more, and to continue to support the sisters, to support you and your missions as well. So thanks so much. If anyone has any questions about the foundation, I'm happy to answer those too. Okay, turn it back to Melody then.
Thanks, Kate. I'll just echo Kate's excitement. It's been such a pleasure building this program and working with the committee and learning about the congregation. It's been really fun to do. So we'll jump into the program and the grant that you are applying for. I wanted to share with you an excerpt from the Racine Dominican Constitution because it's such a beautiful foundation for what this grant program is. And we're actually doing two other grants as a part of this program in addition to the Mission Partners grant. The excerpt says, "We acknowledge that the basic needs of others can justly lay claim on what we have received. We therefore design our congregational structures, policies, and processes in such a way that our human resources, as well as our land, buildings, money, and other material possessions, will serve to promote the common good and help redress injustice. And we just feel so fortunate to be partnering with this congregation, with this as part of their mission, and that this program is in service of this. So let's jump into the funding criteria. We have 3 simple criteria that you all have met to be able to apply for this funding. To be identified as a mission partner of the Racine Dominicans, to have received an invitation from the Racine Dominicans and from the foundation, and to be recognized as a 501c3 in good standing, or to have a fiscal sponsor with that designation. Those are the criteria to make you eligible to apply. The parameters from the grant are as follows. There is no minimum or maximum funding amount that can be requested. We ask that mission partners consider their overall budget, other sources of funding, and their needs for the coming year, and request an amount that reflects your needs. We'll ask in the application that you demonstrate the need for the amount that you request. We have funds for this grant program to address the typical needs each mission partner has had in the past. If you have had an increase in funding from other sources, your request this year may be lower than what it was last year or in previous years. If, on the other hand, you've experienced any other kinds of changes in funding, we know that the federal landscape has changed, state funding, private funders may be decreasing their amounts as well. Please reflect that in your statement, in your application, and request an amount that fits your needs, considering other funding changes as well. Awardees will participate in a virtual mid-year check-in, and other reporting requirements as designated. Those will be in the application, and we can talk to you about those as well. The funds will be awarded this May. So the grant period will be between May 2026 and May 2027. That's the year in which you will spend your award. Awards are not guaranteed for next year. The funding amounts and the awards in general are not guaranteed. I'll let Sherry answer or talk more about that. But just because the funding may change and shift, the congregation will make a decision about funding. Sherry, I believe it's in November of this year. And so we don't have guaranteed funding for this program for next year, in case you had questions about reapplications or subsequent year funding. There are a few funding restrictions that I'll share with you. Grants will not be awarded for the following: to support for-profit organizations, to support capital campaigns or improvements, to support scholarship or tuition assistance, staffing costs, or any partisan political efforts. Those are the things that you cannot spend your awards on. When we come to review your applications, the Grant Review Committee will be using the following categories to score applications. We'll be looking at your mission alignment with the Racine Dominicans mission. We'll be looking at the alignment between your mission and the communities that you serve. We'll also be reviewing the strength of your programs and/or your projects if you share a project with us. We'll also be looking at your financial viability, and we'll be looking at your overall potential to fulfill your mission. And just to be clear, you can apply for funding for general operating needs, and you can apply for funding for a specific project. You do not need to have a project in order to apply for funding. You do not need to create a new project in order to apply for funding. It can go to support the general operating needs that you have, because we believe in your mission. So you are invited in the application to share a project with us. It might help us to understand your impact. It might help us to see the communities you serve more clearly, but that is not a requirement for your funding.
Would it be possible to ask a question about the
Sure.
previous slide?
Yes, Claire, go ahead.
Thanks. I'm just curious about, this would be the one that comes before this slide about that scholarships there's a restriction that the funds couldn't be applied to scholarships. Does this mean like staffing, or does this mean for our programs that the funds could not be applied for scholarships? And where I'm going with this question is part of our mission as an organization is to build a more just and compassionate world, and economic justice and providing scholarships is important to us. I'm just curious if you might be able to speak more about the scholarship restriction.
Can
Thanks.
I ask you a question, Claire? Would it be a scholarship for your organization or a scholarship to attend a different institution?
It would be a scholarship to attend our institution.
Your institution. Okay. Sherry, could I ask you if you wouldn't mind stepping in here for this question? I would be very grateful.
I'm trying to remember, Claire, the previous applications you submitted. Did you ask for money for scholarships?
It was tucked in there, yes, along with other projects and other needs. We consistently receive scholarship requests of the programs that we offer.
So I think that would be part of your normal operations, but then also I think you should talk about the need and any other funding you have to support that need. Should
Got
be
it. Okay.
disclosed. Yeah.
Okay, super. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sherry. I appreciate that. Are there any other questions while we're here?
I had a quick question. So I know that you said operational costs are covered, but staffing costs are not. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Sherry, I'm going to let you talk about that one too.
Thank you. I think it was specific staffing costs, not creating new positions that might not be able to be supported in the future. So we're not looking to fund new unless it's part of a project or a new program. You just really have to identify the need and let that come through that way. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Sherry. And I'll clarify that this information is on our website too, and I'll make sure that I put new staffing costs there for clarification.
Yeah, mine was basically the same question on staffing costs, because we would probably, if we're going to apply for our street outreach program, which is almost all people to people thing. We have a street outreach team that goes out and meets with people on the streets. And I mean, that's the primary cost, is the cost of people who are trained and know how to go out and find people and engage with them and talk about change and help them move to the next phase, which, is essentially an employee cost. But I think that answers the question, but I had the same concern as well.
Thanks, Scott. All right, I'll jump us back ahead to our timeline. Your due date, it's really one timeline, is going to be April 10th, before midnight by April 10th. We'll do our reviews and announce awards by mid-May. I'll move into showing you how to apply. Our application is online. This is a screenshot of our grant portal where you can create a new account, or you can log in if you already have an account. In the email that you'll receive, you'll get a link to this page. It will also be on our website. You do not have to complete your application all at once. You can save your progress in the platform. It's pretty nice, and come back to it at any time. I want to share with you a couple of resources, and I'll take you to the Incarnate Word Foundation website where all of these are going to live at iwfdn.org. Can you all see, has my screen changed to the website? Yes, okay, thank you. This is the Incarnate Word Foundation's website. If you navigate at our menu to the New Treasures program, that's the program where we're partnering with different congregations. You'll see the third one on the list is the Racine Dominicans Mission Grants Program. This is the landing page for all 3 grants that are under this program. So if you scroll down past the introductions, you'll see the Mission Partners one is right here. You click on that and it will take you to this page. This has all the information from the slides as well, the funding criteria, the parameters, the restrictions, which I'll add a clarification to. This has your timeline, the webinar, the application due date, and the award announcements. And then we're going to post here for you a series of resources. We'll put up the video of this webinar. We'll put the slides here for you to download, as well as the transcript. We also have put on here a preview in PDF form of the entire application. Sometimes it's just helpful to see the whole application and the scope of what you need to do ahead of time. So if you click this, it will take you to a PDF of the entire thing with all the questions. There are ones that are required and ones that are optional. We also have for you here a sheet that has instructions on how to access the portal, how to create an account if you don't have one yet, and how to log in. So this is here. It gives you the link and it gives you screenshots for how to apply and where to find the applications. You'll see that there is an access code that you'll be asked to put in because this is not a grant that's open to everyone. You'll need this access code, and then you'll see the grant summary right here. The access code is MP26, Mission Partners 26. That'll be in the email too, and you'll have these slides as well. And finally, at the bottom of this page, you'll have a direct link to go to the online application. So you'll have it hopefully in multiple places. And the Racine Dominican website will have this available for you very soon too. They'll have all of this copied over to their website where you can find access to. So if there are any other questions, I'd love to hear from folks, things that you're wondering about, things that we can help clarify for you. Please go ahead with your questions.
I think it's pretty straightforward. It seems like you guys know what you're doing. And especially with having the PDF of all the questions available to see all at once so we can get that prepared before we even start. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Marilyn.
I will say too, just a gentle reminder, you can also save as you go throughout the application. The system we use is called Found It. So if you're familiar with writing grants, you may have used it before, but it's pretty user-friendly. And then the other thing is if you have more questions while you're doing the application, please feel free to reach out to us and ask. We're here to be a resource to all of you. So email, phone, whatever you need. We're happy to answer if it's about clarification on a question, or if it's about, a specific feature of the Found It system, whatever comes up, please reach out.
That does bring up a question for me as far as, is there a budget that, I assume that there would be a budget that would be required for the application. And I'm just curious if there is a project that's being applied for, or then that's one separate thing. If it's organizational for general operating, I'm curious about what fiscal year or timeline the budget would need to reflect. Would that budget need to reflect if funds are being applied for operational costs? Would the budget need to reflect the grant year of May 2026 to May 2027, or would it need to reflect the fiscal year that the May grant is in, that is our fiscal year 2025, 2026?
That's a really good question, Claire. Kate, can I ask you what is typically done with the foundation's general grant cycle?
So for us, it can be tricky because every organization kind of often runs on a different fiscal year. So what we have always asked, and what we use the organizational budget for too, is to look at kind of the viability, when we're reviewing a grant application. So we always ask for the current fiscal cycle that you're in. And part of that is just because we don't want to add work to our funded partners either. If you haven't made a budget yet for, if you are July 1, or, you might not have thought that far ahead, or even, hopefully by July, hopefully you're thinking about July 1, but if it's January for next year, you might not have. So, if that is okay with Sherry, that's typically what we do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Claire.
And Claire, as well, you'll see in the application, I believe there's, everyone will be asked to submit an operating budget for the organization overall, but there is a separate place too that you could add a project budget.
Got it. Okay, that's super helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, if they come up, you are most welcome to email us or call us. Please reach out anytime. We'll send you some reminders. We really are excited to learn more about your work when we receive your applications. Thanks for being here with us this morning.
Thank you,
Oh,
Melanie.
thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being here. And thank you, Melanie and
Yeah,
Sharon.
it's a great partnership for the Racine Dominicans.
Yes.
Give our thanks to the sisters, Sherry. It
Yes,
was
I
a
will
good
do
idea.
that. Yes, I
Yeah.
will. Yeah.
Nice to meet you
Thank
all.
you all.
Bye.
Bye.